Okay, so looking at this question, I'm just gonna, copy down the actual percentages and stuff like off to the side. So it says the University of Miami, they had a team in football ranked 13th out of 128, and again, that was for football. And it looks like they had another team, baseball, ranked 35th out of 351 for baseball. So trying to color code this to keep these guys separate. Based on the percentile rank, which team had the better ranking? So in my opinion, I think this question is actually easier where you're looking for their percentile versus trying to find the ranking that got them into that percentile. So again, moral of the story, I think it's harder. I think the previous question is harder where you have to find the answer to match the percentile versus looking for the percentile. Okay. And so looking at our percentile work right now, um, we just have to, um, I can actually copy it and paste it so we can see it. So I don't have to scroll. So this is the equation I'm working off of. Okay. I'll zoom in a little. So, um, so there's the number of the data values less than x all divided by n. So my n is the total number of teams there. So that's going to be an n. 351 is going to be an n. And if you're 13th out of 128 teams, that means you're probably pretty good. And this is probably a lie because, first of all, who is Miami University? I actually know who they are, but they're kind of irrelevant in football. No offense. Baseball, I know less about, but they're definitely a little bit irrelevant in football. So this is obviously a made up scenario. Um, if they're the 13th out of 128, that means there's a ton of teams that are like way worse than them. So those teams that are less than the values, specifically that x value is the 13th. Okay. Um, we get that from 128 minus 13. Okay. All divided by 128, and we're going to multiply that by 100. So again, I'm trying to find the number of teams that are worse than Miami. There is 115 of them that are worse if they're the 13th best. Okay. Hopefully it's making sense why there's not a 12 on the top right there. If there was a 12 up there, we're getting it backwards. Okay. Classic thing people want to do here is do that. When you cancel out like that, please don't do that. You're breaking order of operations. One of my math teachers called that the automatic fail. This is you have to subtract first and then divide. So again, if you're going like this and you're getting like 1 minus 13, that is not what we want. Okay. We got to subtract those first, get 115 on top, all over 128. Again, that 115 is that there's 115 teams that are worse than Miami. Huh? That's not what I want. Times 100 again. Putting that into your calculator, it looks like you would get 89.8. So I'm going to have you guys drop in the chat. If the red question is almost identical, what should the numerator, the top of that fraction, become um, when you're doing the red portion of the question? And a hint is that it is not 34. Again, it is not 34. We're getting it backwards if we get 34. Feel free to drop it in the chat or say it out loud. Oh, Miami did do that well. Wow, that's crazy. 316, thank you, is the actual answer to the question, but I care a lot about that private message there. The 316 is correct. So if there's 351 total, that numerator is going to be 316 out of that 351 times 100, giving you 90.0%. Now, if these people are like playing sports, they're probably pretty competitive. So the fact that the answer key says that something lame like both teams were in the 90th percentile, I guarantee you the teams would want you to round so that the baseball team can say that they're ranked higher or better than the football team. So I know the answer key says neither. I would not count you off if you said neither, but just know in an actual scenario, the baseball team's going to want you to round to see that they're actually better. So hopefully that's making some sense. I still cannot believe that Miami was actually ranked 13th.